What is going on, guys, man? Welcome to the Soul Driven Artist View. I am your host, Damo Unleash, and I got somebody here, a hard hitter that been around in the business for a long time. I'm gonna go ahead, roll out the red carpet, and I want you to introduce yourself, and we're gonna go ahead and have a conversation. So, the floor is yours.
All right, my name is Big Boss. I'm a hip hop artist slash wrestling manager slash the owner of Outer Heaven Entertainment. So I used to be down with Hard Hitter. I'm still, am. Shout out to my boy Mike Sky Black. We ended up starting my own company, and I'm repping Outer Heaven. And Hard Hitter was my first family. Always will be my first family, my first home. So peace and love to them and Off Top Records.
Man, you know what? I learned something just now about you that I did not know. I did not know that you were into wrestling. And the wrestling, like Tennessee, has a good history for the wrestling, upcomers. Didn't Undertaker come from Tennessee, if I'm right?
I want to say I think he did some stuff down here because, shout out to LT. I think his daddy,
Yeah,
he did some stuff with him. And, they kind of, come through. It was territory days back then. So that was the 80s. This was before wrestling blew up. It was before how would you call it? The big bang of wrestling before Vince turned it into what
yeah,
it is today.
got you. So, how long have you been involved in wrestling?
I've been involved a little bit. It started with the Psychomedic. Shout out to the Psychomedic. I got to give him his plug. He came to me in 2013, and with Sky Black kind of hooked it up. And shout out to Sky again. Love that guy. Uh, he was like, "Hey, I got this dude that want you to do his wrestling thing." And I was like, at first, I was like, I ain't never done that before. I don't know what he would want on it because, I never seen myself doing the wrestling things like that before. So I met him, and we kicked it, and we hit it off really good, and I kind of got his personality and stuff. And then I went home and I started writing, and me and my wife, shout out to little Niki. She ain't feeling well right now. That's why she ain't on camera. But
Got you.
um, we did Schizo, which is on my second album, Day of Reckoning. That was off by, Schizo. So ended up doing that. And he was coming out to it, but I wasn't involved in the shows because around the time my schedule was hectic. I was still doing, a lot more rap shows back then. And so what ended up happening was I ended up doing a second theme for Close Your Eyes. That was for the AOS. Shout out to everybody with AOS. We did that. And then after that, 2021, he asked me to come out and just perform it live. He's always wanted to do it live, and I did it live. And
Okay.
then I started doing the managerial roles. My wife was the valet, and we did the damn thing. We went ahead and started doing it a lot more. I stepped back for a minute and start working on my fourth album, and did more things. I got a lot more things on this album than I did on any other album I've ever did. So I'm in it. I'm in. I love doing it. I love the guys. They put the way they put their matches together is awesome.
So let me ask you a question, man. When did you know that music was going to be your thing? Like that you was like, okay, this is something I'm going to do. I love music. When did that light bulb come on for that?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. The light bulb came on, and I know he's in scandal right now, but I gotta be honest. Um, Puppy was my big inspiration.
Got
He
you.
was he was my big inspiration. I know he wasn't much of a rapper back then, but he had worked with so many awesome rappers. And I know you remember this one when I tell you. Remember Super Cats? Super
Yeah,
Cat? Yeah, yeah, yes. I actually that was one of my first freestyles to that beat.
Oh
And
wow.
the Super Cats, yeah, and that's what like, man, I really want to do this. And then I just started learning. I had a stepfather, his name was John Holmes. He was like, "You don't really want to do this shit." He said, "You don't really want to do it. You don't want to do it." I'm like, "Yeah, I do." So he's like, "I'm gonna make you study Fat Boys and all this stuff." And I was like, I really wanted to do it. So he made me go back and study from all the way to the old school, all the way up to the new.
Right.
And I knew then I wanted to do it. And I used to, study cats like Jay Z, Nas, the Beat Nuts, what else? Big Pun, all of them. Pac, and
Yeah.
even later on, 50 and Jai and Eminem and everybody. They were like, a student of the game. And I knew then, and, you know, as a rest is history, I just started studying and learning and getting better.
So what keeps you motivated? Because sometimes, man, when you've been doing it for years, and especially in this market, man,
Right.
it can be a little tough. We on the Tennessee market, or at least the Nashville market, is pretty tough. So what keeps you motivated?
Well, what keeps me motivated is, the art was the main thing. I love music. The art, the money aspect of it, that comes in time. That comes with just years of grinding and still staying at it. I'll be honest with you, and it isn't going to be exclusive. When I did my Rebellion album, I did have my I didn't I lost a little bit of my confidence. Honestly, I'm
Right.
not going to lie because some things that happened, and I remember when I was just a shout out to Young Ryder. He was a big influence to me to keep going. And I remember working on it. I was like, well, you know what? I can do this. I still got it. I was doubting myself because sometimes you do have those doubts, and you just have to kind of remember why you did it. You go back to the very beginning, the love of it. If you keep the love for it, the rest will come. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people lose the love for it because they get discouraged, or a few people be like, "Oh, I'm feeling you" and stuff like that. You can't page it. That's negative energy. You gotta keep yourself motivated and remember why you got in.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I was just talking about this. And I think a lot of times we get lost into the 20 people, friends, and family that won't support us. And we forget about the billions and millions that don't even know of us. And so we
Right.
put our focus on the wrong thing. Even recently now, I don't focus on, the market here. I focus on the people. The great thing about the internet, it gives us access to millions and billions of people that we otherwise wouldn't have had access to 20 years ago. And so that's the great thing about the internet. So I'm glad that you said that. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Sometimes you do need somebody around you to just kind of say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Maybe you need to take some time, step back, and then refocus and get back in. So I'm glad you mentioned that.
Right. Yeah. And exactly, because I did take some time off and just went back to basics. When I had my doubts, and I just started working on my Rebellion album. And what happened was, for this album I have out now called Angel of Darkness, Devil's Advocate, Psychometric came to me again. I need you to do another thing for me, and it was the inspiration to do the whole album. He was kind of like the catalyst to make me, do this album. And then now I'm working on two more projects. So the wrestling really, I was like wrestling and hip hop combined together, and it made me just really just. I felt like I was a new me. That's why I'm not Big Rob no more. That's why I'm Big Boss, because I feel like I'm been reborn from the ashes. I died, but I was reborn. Kind of sort of thing.
I like that. So when people listen to your music, what can they expect when they go through Big Boss catalog from the first album to this latest album? What can they expect to get from your music?
From starting with Big Rob all the way to Big Boss, of course that's the same guy, but different, person in the same way. You know what I mean? What they can get is they can, hear, tragedy, some heartbreak, having fun. I make you dance, make you cry, make you mad. Everything, a human emotion that you can feel. I make you feel everything. And that's one thing my mom said. Some of the stuff my mom listens to, she's like, well, that's your mom. She's gonna be your biggest critic. Some of the
Oh,
stuff is just too harsh for her.
yeah.
It's a little harsh because my stuff is hardcore, and but some of it I won't say a cuss word in some of my songs. You listen to them, all my songs don't have cussing on it because it ain't that time for that.
Right.
You have to, that's one thing for me is I can go in every emotion. I go everywhere. So I'm not a gangster artist. I'm not a drug dealer. I'm a hardcore artist. That's what I call myself. I'm a hardcore artist.
I've got you, man. Well, you know what? I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to bless our platform. You know what I'm saying? And the door is always open. I don't care if you releasing a new video or a new album. Reach out to me. You know I got your back, man. Especially, man, you're homegrown. This is home for me and home for you.
Hmm.
So the door is always open. I want you to plug in every platform where they can find you and shout out anybody and everybody you can. And then we're going to go ahead and close the show out with your music video. So the floor is yours.
All right. I got a whole bunch of plugs. So I'm gonna
Oh,
be
go ahead.
real.
Go ahead. The floor
So
is yours.
I'm gonna start off from the beginning. I'm gonna shout out my brother from another mother, Michael Anderson, running the Hard Hitter Radio. I want to shout out to my road dog Sky Black. We was at the wrestling event not too long ago. He cheated. He tried to cheat, but we came out on top. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
anyway, and then I want to shout out to my beautiful wife. She couldn't be on camera. She's not feeling well. So I'm holding it down for her. Perry, I want to shout out him, aka Psychomedic, Classic Man, Mario Jax, um, all the team that helps me on my platforms, Outer Heaven, my company, Monica Gotti. And where you can find my music at is Apple, everywhere, all the streaming platforms. It's everywhere from Big Rob all the way to Big Boss. And you can YouTube anywhere. Spotify, everywhere. So you can stream me anywhere. Just dial it in. I got my Time to Rise Volume 1, Outer Heaven. Second album, Day of Reckoning. Third album, Time to Rise Volume 3, Rebellion. And the fourth joint, we was at Angel of Darkness, Devil's Advocate. So, it's everywhere. YouTube, everywhere. iHeart. And I just want to take a shout out to God, for allowing me to be here. And one more thing I forgot. My DYN brothers, Tony, the Don, and Dre, Problem Child. I forgot to mention I was in a group called DYN. I still rep them. We really, polish each other's skills off. So I just want to
Man,
give
much
everybody love.
man, you know what? I wanted to lead this. There's a lot of people with talent, but everybody ain't so driven. This brother is real driven. He's been doing this how long? Big Boss, you've been doing this music now?
2003, when I was a kid, like when I was a teenager.
20 years. That's driven. All right. So talent is one thing. It's a lot of artists with talent, but they're not driven. So with that said, I'm glad that you blessed our platform, man, with 20 years of experience and skill. And all the artists in Tennessee, if y'all want advice, man, and y'all run into this cat, make sure y'all reach out and have a conversation with you. Because I guarantee you're going to get a world of wealth from 20 years of experience. 4 albums, manager in wrestling, that is a long resume. Man, God bless you. We going to hit them with your song, and then we out, man. Thank you for joining our platform. And y'all just check this out, all right?
All right.
I'm a psycho medic, a schizo paramedic, big boss enforces it, and Outer Heaven is the label that pays for it. So call me Mr. Mayhem, a dangerous doesn't give a when I flip the switch. out and put my gun in your mouth. I'm evil, walking in your city in all black, ready to attack. I gave my soul to the devil years ago and went to get it back. Smack the devil with my gat. Mr. Mayhem is ready to rule the wrestling land, and hip-hop won't be able to stand against Mr. Mayhem. We don't need a vote like Jax Teller. I'll cut you, cause me and Medic are Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I've been doing this for years, flatlining out here, but the ladies, they love psychos. They ready to take. But me and Medic ain't got time for that. When the match is on, that means your soul is gone. I've conquered the veil, I smashed the remnant and Gwen's daughter. So you know I'm stronger than anybody that can stand against me. I got AOS and Psychomedic representing me. Get in the ring, I'll put you to sleep. We are the streets, County Grove flows in me. Mr. Mayhem has left nothing but scorched land. I'm a mad bomber, blow up all your plans. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem. I'm Mr. Mayhem. Mr. Mayhem, come meet Mr. Mayhem.
How many times do I gotta tell ya, fools? When you meet Mr. Mayhem, it's a rap, yo, boss, better get the strap.
Man, we are out, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, anytime, man. The door is always open, brother. Keep doing your thing, representing Tennessee well. We out. Peace.
Peace.